Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because it's going to be a reading. I just wanted to share with you something that's really personal to me. After the fourth test, it started to sink in that I was actually pregnant. I figured after the 2 lines showed up on the fourth test, the shock of this complete surprise would wear off. The timing felt so off, but I really wanted it. I dreamed of having my little trio tribe of curly-haired brown babies and was eager to have this final one, as I recognized the effects that pregnancy and birth had on my body and on my mental health. So, maybe this timing was actually sort of perfect. I chose to see it this way, and I smiled. I think I smiled a lot in between everything else. I welcomed it. I whispered it excitedly to those closest to me, my family, and many friends and strangers alike. As a Black mother, I find pregnancy riddled with anxieties. I didn't yet settle on a midwife, but I had just started contacting some the night before. I even dreamt of the possibility of attempting vaginal birth after 2 C-sections. Hilo and Blas would share a bunk bed, just like Brandy and I did. We used to laugh, talk, count, sing, all before closing our eyes for bed. At the doctor's office, I shared my nervousness, and she reluctantly gave me a requisition form for 2 ultrasounds. The one that I was supposed to have at 12 weeks, and then this pity one that I could proceed with immediately here at 10 weeks and a few days. Later on, she would recollect that she routinely dismisses anxieties, as she had done at my appointment. At the ultrasound, the technician asked me if I'd experienced any bleeding at all, and that was the first alarm bell that literally shook me to my core. No, none, I replied. I had brought Hilo with me as I wanted my firstborn along with me for the journey. I try not to have any regrets. In on the secret, she will come to know that being a woman is complicated and it requires so much strength. The technician tried 2 different types of ultrasounds, abdominal and transvaginal, but still the embryo cannot be found. There was no baby. I'd made an empty gestational sac. But my body was real. Those first 2 months were real. The discomfort, the cramps, the aches, the gas, the constipation, the sheer exhaustion, the surprisingly protruding belly, having to nurse Blas with pained nipples, all of that was so very real. But in a moment, it no longer was. And it was all for nothing. I've encountered much coldness in my pregnancy as well, and maybe the lesson is there. Today, I get ready to remove the remnants of my pregnancy, the home my body so tirelessly built for my baby. It's undoubtedly devastating. The story of the hospital carries just as much weight. I can only say that I hope my hormones stabilize again for my return or for my new self. I think I feel like I failed somehow. I'm not as hard on my body as I am on myself. I know better than to think this, yet that doesn't stop me from believing that at times. I'm not super sure why I'm sharing this. I felt like I needed to. Maybe we don't talk about miscarriages enough. Maybe it helps to talk about things instead of brushing them under the rug. Maybe it helps somebody feel less alone. maybe partners can learn and lean into gentleness, both during pregnancy and loss. You know, maybe not. I'll be okay. Different, scarred, strong, but I'll be okay. Reconfigured, but okay. So many of my plants are suffering, some dying. My neglect, perhaps, but I must have whispered it to them as well. They know and they feel. This moment right here is my breakdown, and I sit and I wait for my breakthrough. Okay, thank you guys. If you're still here, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you.